Hey everyone, Lindsay here with Sunshine Canine Training. It's a scorcher today, but we're out walking anyway. We're going to walk out here for a few minutes and we're going to chill out in the shade. Leo is on this little podium here behind me, and everyone finds it super impressive. They're always like, oh wow, he's so cool sitting up there. My dog could never do that. And folks just get a kick out of it. Everyone's always taking pictures and stuff, and rightfully so, because it looks pretty cool. But I don't do it to be impressive. I do it really to practice his impulse control. I'm sweating. It's about 95 degrees. Leo, here. Down. There you go. Lay down in the shade. Good boy. Right there. It's a good spot. That pavement's hot that he was on. Down. Find a good spot. Down, old man. He's slow to process. He's a big boy. I give him an opportunity. So the reason he's up there is I put him up there. I asked him to go up there. It's become a routine every time we come here. I say place and I point to the little podium and he hops up on there. The reason he stays there is because when I taught him how to sit and when I taught him how to lay down, I taught implied stay, which means when I put you in a command, you don't get out until I release you from that command. So his release word is break, or if I call him, if I say Leo here, which is his recall word. So I taught him implied stay by the first step to teaching that is by teaching a command. So teaching sit or teaching down. Sorry, I'll take the glasses off. Yeah, it's so impressionable. Ooh, looking good. So I teach the command first, and the way you teach a command is a lot of repetition, so a couple hundred times of him doing sit or down, and then introducing the distractions and correcting him when he broke command. So when he, wow, I'm visibly dripping. It's hot today, guys, stay hydrated. So after teaching him how to stay in one place and then correcting him when he got up, I started amping up the distractions. Then I started asking him to place on weird objects like benches and statues and the little podium there that he likes to sit up on. So that's where you start. So after you get your dog sitting in one place for a while and not breaking command, you can start asking them to get onto objects that have a defined area. So like an empty flower pot, because he's the prettiest flower in all the land. So this implied stay thing can be pretty fun. And every now and then you get to a cool place and where'd he go? Then things just get weird. Now if your dog gets really good at this command, don't forget to release your dog. So Leo's release word is break, meaning he can get up and do whatever he wants, or I can call him to me by giving his recall, which is Leo here. But remember to actually release your dog from command. If they know it really well, they'll just stay there. So sometimes I'm out and Leo's with me, and like the other night we were having a fire and I put him in a downstay, and my friend tried to call him and he doesn't break command for anybody but me when he's called. So they were trying to call him and Leo was just laying there like, no, I'm supposed to stay here. Mom put me here, I'm supposed to stay. I'm not supposed to get up. The way that I trained that was I actually would ask strangers when I was out in public if the dog was on a tie back, or if I had him on the leash or I had him on the long line and I put him in a downstay, I'd ask for other people to call him with his name, to make baby noises, to make clucking noises, get him to, you know, pretty much whatever would distract a dog to come to them. And when he got up on somebody else's prompt, granted, I know, and it seems unfair to set it up this way, but it was a great way to prove him, he would be corrected and guided back down into his command. So if he was in a downstay and he got up, I would say no, and then I would say down, and he would lay back down. So that's just another way to correct for distractions, especially if you're going to a place, or if you're going to take your dog to a place where other people are known for like calling out your dogs. So I know a lot of like cafes and stuff, or like outdoor places where animals are allowed, so often people walking by will think it's the right thing to do to call your dog. If your intentions are to bring your dog places like that, where there are going to be people, and pretty much no matter where you go, folks are going to antagonize your dog without really meaning any harm, guys. Don't be upset about it. You know, people just do it. They shouldn't, but they just do it. So just teach your dog not to respond to people like that. Set it up. Set it up with friends where, you know, you have your friends walk by and they call the dog, and, you know, teach the dog that they listen to you and your family, and not weird strangers walking by. Unless it's what you want, of course. But I don't know anybody that wants their dog to listen to other people that they don't know. So just something to think about. So let's go over everything. Little recap here. First recap is Lindsay's hair obviously gets super curly when it's humid outside. So here are the steps. Step 1 is teaching your dog that command. So teaching your dog how to sit, or how to down, or how to be on place on like a defined object. Teach that command first. Hundreds of repetitions, lots of rewarding when your dog does what you want them to do. After your dog understands verbally that when you say sit, it means to put their butt on the ground, or when you say down, that means they're supposed to lay all the way down, or place, get on this object. After they understand that, then the first distraction you should do is stepping away with the leash in your hand still. So that means you're obviously not stepping away very far. So hundreds of times doing it where you just ask the dog to do what you want, reward them when they do it. And then after hundreds of times doing that, you start stepping away. Just a foot at a time. 1 feet, 2 feet. And when your dog breaks command, say no and guide them back. So when I say guide them back, what does that mean? Well, that means they need to have a leash on. When you're teaching your dog something new, they should have a leash on, because there's no way for them to understand unless we give them guidance. Our dogs don't speak English. We teach them English. All right, that's really important. So we create that implied stay by keeping the dog on a leash and just starting to step away. So when they're in one spot and we step away and they want to step to us, we can say no, give them a correction, and then guide them back into that position. Mostly in the place that they were in, if you start inching away, then you find yourself teaching the dog and you're all the way across the room. That kind of defeats the purpose. So it's good to teach them. It's good to teach them place, or teach them in an area where you'll be able to define a spot so that they're not creeping across the room as you're working through teaching them a command. So once they know that command and they're not popping off when you're holding the leash still, then you can start putting the leash down and stepping even further away from them. Remember to start this in the house. That's so important. Start indoors, because if you start outside, you're going to fail a lot. Be fair. Remember to have realistic expectations. Outside is incredibly distracting, especially right now. There's so many bugs and stuff out. It's nice and warm. Breeze is blowing. There's so many smells. People cooking burgers. So keep that in mind. You know, be fair to yourself and be fair to your dog. When I say be fair to yourself, what I mean is you'll get really, really frustrated if you start outside and you have these expectations that your dog is going to learn this in 24 hours. It takes some time. So it takes some time and a lot of repetition. So once you're able to start adding distractions, so your dog is, say your dog is in a down stay, and you haven't actually asked them to stay, you just asked them to lay down and you started stepping away and correcting whenever they popped up, then you can start adding like the dog's favorite toys into the room, or their favorite treats, you know, or picking up keys, or picking up another leash, or knocking on the door. And when your dog breaks command, you correct them and guide them back to where they were. And that's how you proof your dog. That's how you proof them to stay when you've asked them to stay in a command. So that's implied stay, guys. I hope that made sense for everybody. That's how I teach Leo. That's how I taught Leo, and that's how I teach most dogs how to stay without actually ever saying the word stay. And that's not because I don't need to say it. It's not because I don't want to say it or don't need to say it. It's just that it's just implied. It's just implied that you stay when I ask you to sit or when I ask you to lay down. don't forget to release your dog from commands. That's important. Anyways, I hope to see folks sending me selfies of their dog with their implied stay. I'm looking forward to that. I love it when folks do stuff like that. But yeah, I do it with Leo all the time. So we always have a cool photo op, like on a tree stump, or you know, with something cool hanging around. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're having a great week, and let us know if you have any questions.